So kids, this is another example of where I'm probably going to miss some in the moment kind of documentation, best practices. By the grace of God, SNAP benefits come through on the 6th of each month. So I was able to get a little protein and energy in my system to make this walk feasible. And it's a little warmer today, which is nice. We have to leave Walmart now because they're unable to cash a IHDA check, a tenant direct check, which was delayed. The check itself was issued on February 19th, and I didn't receive it until March 7th, even though my eviction motion date is the 12th. So this is being deliberately slow-walked, and when you factor in the fact that Cook County interrupted my filing of the federal lawsuit against the Pogorzelskis, Agnes Pogorzelski and the law offices specifically, it's really hard for me not to believe that this isn't involving my mother's Kerala estate, where there are some irregularities in the documentation of the estate paperwork. And my father's silence is not just because of his personal hatred of my lifestyle choices. And we're gonna expand what the definition of that is. That doesn't just mean homosexuality. That can mean being physically intimate with anybody who's not under the thumb of an oppressor. So I told you I'm a bare minimum luxury kind of guy. ES350 is fine for me, and I don't need any marriage license to prove my worth to myself. So we will go to the next option, and if that doesn't work, we will pray about it. And see, the funny thing is, they give you a fake Jesus and then laugh at you when you pray to him. But at the same time, they want you to remain under that thumb of control. That's very, very Indian, which is exactly the descriptor they're trying to avoid, because Indian represents all the best practices of their segregation. And South Indian Christian found a way to make life bearable and compliant with the Creator's wishes. And so that segment of society must be sequestered. And so the same thing, you notice how the news headlines are getting very, very ethnic lately with regards to Iran and things like that. And they're talking about succession of different political leaders that you guys don't really give a shit about. That is the best false equivalency they can make with regards to what's happening here. I never wanted to bore you people with the intricacies of my middle and last name, but I have a lot of responsibility to handle this delicately. You know what I mean? And so anytime they can make me act indelicately, that's a win for them. Indelicately in the Indian community is anything black adjacent. Indelicately in the white community is anything, well, I don't have a good binary for you. But the mistake I made was finishing engineering school. I finished engineering school, which checked off a box for my parents. And then when I went down to train with Ray Edwards, I just wanted to work at a gym because that would pay my bills and, give me a place to stay while I trained to be the best athlete I could be. Like I said, I didn't have to win anything. But, running sub 10 in the 100, running sub 20 in the 200, I felt was mathematically doable. I had enough understanding of force vectors to accomplish that. And I had enough basic strength and neurological ability to make that happen. So I didn't think it was a crime to pursue that. But methodology, the methodology that I chose flew in the face of traditional mainstream guidelines. White intellectualism has to be the overseer, and black physicality has to be the kinesthetic leadership. I said, okay. I respected Michael Vick. I respected Allen Iverson. I respected Usain Bolt. All these great athletes. And I took from the Jamaican philosophies, the African diaspora, and Otto Bolden did it. But then they also said, okay, well, if you want success, you have to join the homosexual bridge, because that's something Jews can be included in. I said, no, I don't really need to do that, because you told me before that following white Jesus's Gospels and epistles was most important. And Romans 1:26 specifically talks about homosexuality. So whether Jews own the seminaries or not, we're not allowed to do that. And my body doesn't even like doing that anyway. And you can ask any girl that I'm trying to hit from the back, it's just not really fun for me. Until it is, and then it is. You know. But I don't need to degrade myself to prove to anybody. The only reason I went so far to do that was because I had to piecemeal it all together, put the box of scraps philosophy. So this again is the box of scraps thinking. So we just have to keep walking and figure out what the best option is. And worst comes to worst, if nothing gets accomplished financially today, we've got our walk-in for the day. And now I know that my threshold for walking is 2.5 miles. And I have tactile understanding of my neighborhood in a 2-mile radius. So, yeah, that's the victory of today. You want me to keep lowering my ceiling, because the only way that you can feel tall is if I'm on my knees. And if I'm on my knees my whole life, you have a safe precedent to tell my children that they have no business even thinking about learning about their feet. If somebody wants to live on their knees, that's their choice. It's not a mandate. You can't mandate that. Certainly not to United States citizens. White citizens and black citizens have the same levels of protection under the Constitution. Whether they support Israel's blackmail or not. You don't get to decide that, period. Okay, I'm going to cross the street now and see what these people say. I'm sure they've already been informed. But that's not my problem. Our problem is execution, making sure that we do what we're able to do. The police departments are involved, the sheriffs are involved, the court system is involved, the judges are involved, the hospitals are involved. But I'm the one that's right. So there may come a time when I fail in the execution of this, but just like Kanye did for me, this is my blunt instrument tactic. You have to take it further. Okay, nobody's going to get it fully perfect. We are approaching what's called an asymptote. Okay, it's a curve that approaches a line but never really touches it. Okay, so you have to do the best that you can do. All right, we're going to shut it down for a little bit.